to another edition of the program Youth in Society. Youth in Society is a 1 hour informative youth program on Truth 96.1, where we talk about issues confronting the youth, our society. Today is the 22nd day in the month of February. The year constant 2025. We are the world, we are the children, and we are here to make that better day. My name is Elijah Bzeze. Yeah, over the man, Sheikh Sano, together going to run you up the tree. Yeah, we are the world, we are the children, we are actually here to make that better day, right? So, let me bring down the teams a little bit and see how best I can introduce my colleagues here instead of me. We are the world, we are the children here to make that better day. So, let me say good afternoon to you, Sheikh.
It is my pleasure to be back on Youth and Society. We are excited whenever we get an opportunity like this to sit behind a microphone on Saturday to discuss about the young people issues. So, my pleasure, and I want to appreciate so much the management and all of our many listeners to this program, Youth and Society. So, my pleasure.
All right, so that's it. We're going to run you up to three, where we're going to be talking about. We're going to play host. We're hoping to play host because the president and the founder of Deep National Awards, Entrepreneur Disease for one, Dr. Ibrahim Dasama Silu, the first going to be here. We're going to be talking on some issues pertaining to the roles and responsibilities of an elected representative.
Mhm.
Yeah, we want to talk about it. We want to talk about the role and responsibilities of an elected representative. So, we're hoping to actually play host today to Dr. Ibrahim Dasama Sedu, the first. He's going to be here and we're going to discuss the issue together. All right, so let's get a break and be right back.
All
SHR.
SHERLK.
All right, so let's say welcome back again to the program Youth in Society. Like we said today, Sheikh, we actually want to talk about the roles and responsibilities of an elected representative. People sometimes elect go to the pool, stay in the sun, in the rain, elect a representative, all right? But you don't know the role, or maybe that person or that person elected don't know the role for that exact position. So, like we said, we actually going to be discussing these issues with the president and the founder of Cubs. Deep. All right, so he's gonna be here. Dr. Ibrahim someone said just before he can wrap. So we're gonna be talking. Yeah, you understand? We
Yeah,
have like 73s.
yeah.
Representative.
Overall, some of the three in the
Yeah,
country.
across
Yeah,
Liberia.
across Liberia.
Okay, we have. So, what is the role?
And again, most of got the highest. Most
Yeah,
of got
seven
17,
seven things.
followed by number 9.
Nima Kandina Bonkante, I think 8 or
One got
7.
7.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this everywhere across the country will have representative. So what is the role, what is the responsibilities going there to that horse,
Hmm.
the horse of elders, as they can always call it.
Yeah. And let me comment. First and foremost, we have to understand, like you say, is the functions of the lawmakers.
Okay.
When you say lawmakers, we are not basically talking about the members of the lower house, but we are talking about in general.
In general.
The senators and the representative are makeup of the lawmakers
Sure.
across the country. So we see the functions basically. Even though we were entertaining somebody who's going to
Okay.
expatiate more on it, but we just want to give a little bit of gist to it. We talk about a lawmaker. Basically, there are three cardinal functions of lawmakers. And that cardinal function, quote unquote, in Liberia today,
Okay.
people have considered as to be the four cardinal
The
functions.
four cardinal function.
Four.
Okay.
The three is already enshrined in the constitution, or three is already in a book. That's the existing functions.
Okay.
And the fourth one today has become like everybody just running to them to do it for them. And what is that? That is I don't have I mean I want to do my graduation, but
Okay.
no money for graduation.
Okay.
So I need small thing for you.
So
My
you're
Bible
talking about
score.
begging?
Yeah, begging have become the
Okay.
fourth function. So to attend to the core of people that running to them, it have become the four
Yeah.
functions. So that's it. And the three already is like I said, we're going to be discussing it, and we invited somebody who's schooled into this topic, and I know you that are already pretty seated and you want to listen to. I know you already know the functions, but we're going to be, having play-by-play discussion on this function of the lawmaker. All of us we know constitutionally they have basically three cardinal, that is the lawmaking, oversight, and representations. But even though it is so, the lawmakers should not only rely on that three functions. There's something they call that is key to their functionary is the oversight. So the oversight will help the lawmaker to extend their power on or extend their jurisdictions over other branches of the government, like basically the executive. So, for example, the representative or the committee that are responsible for educations or for national security and veteran affairs, you know that when something that has to do with the education aspect, if we realize our education is going the downward trend, there's a need for the committee to exercise that oversight responsibility to invite the stakeholder education sectors, Ministry of Education, other stakeholder, invite them, try to caution them about what is that the education sector is going on the downward trend. But also be it, we're going to expatiate on that today. So don't you go away. We're trying to set everything in place. We'll take a short break to be right back.
Okay. Okay, so welcome back again. We are the world, we are the children. We are actually here to make the better day. Like we said, we're actually going to be playing host to the CEO of the Conduit of Potential Cups and the founder of Deep. So he's going to be here again, but he's already in studio. So only transition to studio two. He's actually going to be telling us the role and functions
Mhm.
of elected representative here today. So, no time. Let's transition to studio two. All right. Let's say good afternoon. Good afternoon. That.
Good afternoon once again. I'm happy to be on this platform for the very first time.
Okay.
Um, it's good that we can come and play our own nationalistic responsibility. The topic on question is very, very important, most especially when we see our country moving um, in a wrong, terribly wrong path, making wrong history. Okay, so um,
Yeah. So just go ahead, introduce yourself so people out there listening can know exactly who we're actually talking to today.
okay, this is Dr. Ibrahim Dasamasu the first. I think it's a familiar name. I'm the executive director of the Democrats and Empowerment for Economic Progress. Today, we'll be looking at the issue of the role of representatives, most especially in the context of Liberia.
Yeah.
If I should start to give my own input, the very first thing is whenever you talk about representatives, you are talking about nationalists, people who are fully defined, have some basic of education. For a society of this nature, Liberia, we expect that the least academic credential that should be accepted in our hall should be a bachelor degree. And for the House of Senate, if we want to have a prosperous Liberia, then we need people who should be master and above, people who have expertise that can be used to transform this country from where it is today to a prosperous industrialized country. Unfortunately, we have been choosing leader based on very unproductive stand. This country is not going anywhere when we cannot set standards for who will lead us today and tomorrow. A couple of years ago, possibly around 90 more years ago, the American society came to the realization or understand that if they want to maintain the hegemony that exists today, that they sit honor over, it means that they must define who represent them as representatives and senators. So during the time we have the World War II back in the history before 1945, you have a bipolar war. It means that you have more than one countries that were controlling the world as superpower, which is the USSR and the United States. But after the war and the Berlin Wall were broken down, somewhere around the early 1900s, maybe around possibly around 1983 to 1993, America managed to become the world superpower and establish a unipolar war, meaning one country stands out as this superpower. And in order to reach that incredible mark, the American society have to make decisions. And one of the decisions they made was do not pull poorly educated individuals to serve as representatives and poorly educated individuals to serve as senators. So today, up to record, 100% of all the entire Senate are all highly credentialed individuals, more than 50% lawyers and all of advanced individual up to doctoral degrees. You find that in the Senate. When it comes to the representatives, you get similar figure, even though you have close to 99.3% I talking about as credential holders. Now, why are you looking at people with such credential to go and enter the House and serve you as representatives? Now, we call the both parties, we call them representatives. One is representative by nature, and other one is senator by the same nature, but they all represent a group of individuals. So upon election, we expect that representatives should have an idea of what it means to make laws. It means that if you have some basic understanding of some specialized area of study, you will have the mind that in order to make law, you should have a body under you as a representative that conduct research, know what the people think about, because propounding views into bills, it should be based on information you have gathered through a data collection process within your constituents. But unfortunately, people sit in a house with poorly informed information, because I want to call it data that they did not collect, and just what they think about and place it there. So the functional roles of our lawmakers should be contingent on the universal responsibility of everybody who must serve in the House of Representatives, because we are in a competitive war. We don't just do things in isolation. We should look at successful countries, successful nations out there. What are some of the things that they have done in order to become successful? And if we do not look at it, because one of the most important roles of the government is not that of the legislature or representatives, it's not just the issue of lawmaking. It have to do with the oversight, looking at things that the law have already approved to be done in this country, to ensure that they are done, and to ensure that the natural resources, according to Article 7 of this country, is properly managed in the best interest of every citizen in this country.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Yeah. So the roles of representative is not only about making law, but oversight. If I actually understand what you said.
Yeah.
So now, how do elected representative balance the interest of the constituent with the national or the state interest?
Now, you see, sometimes you say, according to our own product, you say 15 to 25,000 person within in given constituents will give you a representative to sit in the house. One thing every representative is on an obligation is to know what the people feels. Okay, you should know. If you sit up there and do not have a clear understanding of the feelings of people, but you just drive into political issue, remember, you are a representative representing more than 15,000 individuals. So how do you generate the most important, to prioritize the most important needs of your constituents in the absence of having a collective body that oversees and discuss with your constituents on what should come first in the driving or prioritizing their needs? But if you have poorly educated individuals like Liberia that are always running after money and to see how they can raise money to sustain themselves after 6 years, they don't have time to generate information. That action should be based. Take for example, if you have an oversight to represent the idea, the aspiration of your constituents, are you saying that those guys who call themselves majority group, the renegade, that went sat down in the a local hotel area jail for over 2 months, are you saying that that was the reason why the constituents sent them there to go and sit there? The people voted them to prioritize the removal of a single individual from the position of speaker, most especially illegitimately? Are you saying that's the reason why they put that? It's not a reflection of what the people feel or think. Today in our society, we don't have stable electricity, we don't have stable water, and we don't have police. We just have a group of individuals with blue clothes on them, bearing a badge. Because when you talk about police, you are talking about individuals who are properly attired. In the graduation, they say retire. It means they retire. It means they have their guns, they have their baton, they have their handcuffs, they have a proper boots on them, they have communication set and other things. But what you have here is just a group of individuals that tie belts on their waist with a blue trouser and a shirt, and they put something called badge on them. You call them to a site in your very communities. The very first thing is, if they came back there and they saw a huge guy who is standing there and refused to follow them, those 2 police guys that you brought on back, that you pay for, that is a man. We in the case here, they will tell you, because they know that they're not properly trained. They're wearing blue shirt and trousers, and you don't even see uniformity in the uniform that they have. Instead of you have
right to the police. So I want
no, I'm not just talking about police. I'm talking about the constituents.
So I want to come a little bit to the legislature. We are basically talking about the cardinal functions of the lawmaker. I know very well that there's standing rule in the House that call for if the Speaker is not working in the interest of the lawmaker or the members of the legislature, to be specific representative or the lower house, the standing rule stated that the speaker should be removed and bring in a new speaker. If the current lawmaker decide to say, okay, since the speaker is not working in our interest, we are, the law always talk about the majority. We are trying to put majority together and remove the speaker. Can we describe that as something that is not important or is not genuine?
The question that will come back to you, which should be rhetorical, was that a consensus raised from their constituents? Did they go back to their people who elected them to ask them, or because you don't feel that this country is poorly educated, that you are placed among the 20 most illiterate country ranking at 11. So because of that, you can just, representatives can just go out there and just do anything they want to do. You are in the media environment. Did the guys going back there and ask their constituents, this is what happening, what is your opinion, what is your say? No, they did not. The only thing we heard, the money flying all around the place, and then group of people. If you want to remove a speaker that you feel that is not working in the best interest of you guys who call yourself representatives, what part of your procedure that tell you that you can gang out to a private hotel, leave your very resident and sit there and be removing like those cut and those children while the courtesan, those guys in a cut, they're driving in one long convoy to go out there. You don't have laws, you have laws. If the law tells you that in order to remove a speaker, you should be able to sit in that given forum, established forum, and then place it on the floor. Why should you try to circumvent something that was there before you ever enter that particular setting? You can circumvent it. Now, we're looking at the rule. The rule has nothing to do with the removal of speakers. Okay, if we are coming down to discuss whether it was legitimate, because as far as concerned, the entire government using funding today is illegitimate. Joseph Numa Boaka is one of the miserable, disappointing government I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Okay,
how can you describe Joseph Boaka government as a miserable government when Joseph Boaka is saying that he doesn't want to interfere in the working of the legislature? Because we have the three branches of government are working coordinatively. None of the branch is there to interfere in the working of other. And the president has make it clear that he doesn't want to interfere in the working of the legislature.
Look, tell those kind of statement to the poorly educated society that don't understand African politics. Nobody in our house have the financial capacity to sponsor group of representatives to go and sit down at the local hotel. Nobody in a particular house of legislature have the capacity to sponsor lawmakers to sway that vote from one point to another. Nobody has that kind of
it happened just before the speaker elections. We saw people taking a group of people to hotels for weeks, and just to vote in an interest. So I just say that
the lobbying aspect is quite different from what we saw. Now, in Africa, in African democracy is quite unique. African presidents always want to have authority over the branch of legislators and where they can easily get their way through. So they always try to influence who become speaker and senate pro tem. That is something that is very common when you read all throughout African history when it comes to government. When you look at African democracy and governance, you will see that the president never want to have an independent body. So against that particular desire of the aspiration of that group of individuals, they always like to be autocratic. So for that reason, they will try as much as possible. Let me tell you, political decision in a nation cannot be influenced by an individual. Cannot. Don't mind what they may tell you. You think when last you ever caught a criminal and the criminal tells you, yes, I'm a criminal and I did this and that. They always give you misleading information so that you can follow it and think that they are innocent, they are not involved. But anyone who have read African history and even looking at those guys, let me tell you, there is no group of body that can say they are independent, that the executive will go and start to support, their action if the executive is not in support of that particular group of individuals. Why would the executive give support to one group against the other if the executive is not marrying into their daily politics? Let me
Oh,
tell you,
oh,
let me come in. Let me give you one clear information. You know, these guys, poorly educated, poorly defined individuals, they make the society believe that the legislative branch of government is a political theater. That is lie. That's a blinking lie. That's a purification. That is a legal environment that can be influenced by political connections. But is that a political environment that can be influenced by legal? No, it is not. It doesn't work that way. That's the reason why that house is called the House of Lawmakers, the legislative branch. It means that everything the guys do or they have to do with the beginning of law and the ending of laws. Everything they have to do. So it's just about law. Politics can influence that decision, but politics is not the prime of the activities out there. So you can go in an environment that requires law and say you will circumvent it in the name of politics. That's the reason why we say when you have a poorly defined society, you chose something that is nonsensical in that environment, they
Yeah.
grab it and run with it.
Let, let me bring you back a little bit. If the representative actually go into the house, I mean, to make a law, and then or oversight responsibilities, and if they are not doing the work, how can a constituent actually hold them accountable?
That's why the law states that the citizen have the right to peacefully assemble and ask the government to work in their best interest. We have spoken about that over and again on this platform, and we will keep providing the education is part of the constitution. Okay, so again, looking at the core content of our discussion today,
Okay.
the roles of the representatives, you will get to understand that these guys are there to speak the minds of their constituents. Look, if this government, if any other government wants to help this particular country, the very first thing they will do is provide the education to the schools. Let the people know. But the reason why they cannot do it because they want people to talk out of ignorance. They want people to act out of ignorance. Knowledge is powerful. And the only way your citizen will be powerful is that you educate them. So for that reason, they deny the society from getting the requisite education and make them to be grappling on what they say or how they think that things should go about. And that is terrible. Every society must be fully educated. According to the law states that we should be able to educate our citizens. Why are we not educating them? Why are we denying them from knowing the Constitution? Why are we denying them from knowing the constitutional responsibility, obligation, and things they should benefit from? Why are we doing those things to our society when the law says that it is the government responsibility to fully educate our citizens? Why are we not educating them?
all right, that's so. I want for us to come back. We make this, a little bit simple. The topic on the discussion is the functions of the lawmaker. We are speaking about the lawmaking as one of the the cardinal functions of the lawmaker and oversight. So I want to really make it simplistic. The issue of lawmaking. How can a representative or a senator make a law at the level of legislature so that the simple man or ordinary man who's sitting listening to or will get a full understanding of lawmaking on the part of the legislature or member of the legislature?
Good. Now, let me just say this. Every representative goes in the house with a mandate from the people. Okay? That person enters with the desire of his or her constituents. When they say a representative, it means that this particular person represents a group of individuals. So we all cannot come in the house to speak. So we ask one person to represent 15,000, 20,000, 25,000 persons. Every time that particular person is to speak, that person should be speaking our opinion, our desire, on our wants, based on consensus. You build consensus among the people. So you come to us and you discuss. We tell you what we want you to speak on our behalf. The person goes in the house and put forth the opinion, the ideas into a bill that should need to be voted upon. The person go and negotiate. But unfortunately, so most of the time you hear people crying that when an individual is elected, the person hardly visit the various communities and know that elected him or her in the first place. So who opinion are you speaking of in that particular house? Because when you look at democracy, it's a of the people, by the people, for the people. So it means that anything you say out there is not how you feel or think, but it came or it emanated from the people. So, in a nutshell, everything a representative should say or do over there, it should be a reflection of the constituent that you represent. Okay? But if your ideas are always generated from you, from political influence, from your political party, what it is true, you came under a political party or an independent candidate, you are not there to represent the political party. You are there to represent in our own body politics in Liberia. You are representing the people.
So that somebody will say that indeed some of the current lawmakers are doing that, because just recently one of the lawmakers, specifically representative for Cape Mod County in presence of Feka, Madam Feka, Representative Feka District 3, she proffered a bill for one of the area in the district should be to obtain the township status, and one of the area there to obtain a city mayor, city status. So somebody will say, but the lawmaker are working. If that woman can able to proffer that bill, we need to appreciate her. So by saying that the lawmaker are not turning to the people, and again, the member of the legislature, they have a time wherein they always come to the constituency and have a meeting with the constituency. As you may be aware, they have a committee in the constituency called DDC, District Development Council, where they always have a routine interaction with them. If anything they say, they can able to be abreast with it before they go to the legislature. All that things that happen, can you classify that as they are not doing anything?
No, I don't want to have a sweeping statement being made. Some may be, some may not be. But ask yourself the question: if they are saying something, do you have a meeting meaning? Do you have record to show that what that particular representative is saying came from the constituents? Do you have record on that to prove that, okay, I have 20 community leadership, I have 30 community leadership on me, and they all agree by documentation. You can see that names, that signature to approve that we want this particular village to be 10 to or this, we want a particular time to be 10 to a this. Do you have that available to tell you that what the person is speaking is a true reflection of the community? I have not seen that so easily around here.
That you ought to understand that the DDC is comprised of a community chairmanship. You will not have everybody represented in the DDC. DDC is conglomeration of a community chairman. If, for example, if your constituency or your district have 15 or 20 communities, what DDC is going to do is to select the chairs, various chairs of this community, and put them together as DDC. So if the community need or something, they will speak through the leadership, then the leadership will be able to find out to the DDC before the elected representative can able to have.
So there must be a resolution, there must be documentation that each member, because it will encompass the various chairmen, so that each member of that particular constituent, that particular district you represent, are cognizant of that particular resolution. So if you have such a record, it defines your purpose, your role. It means that the representative is not doing something outside of the constituent. All right, because the how do you call it, DDC or whatever, members of that representing the various communities, they sign to that particular agreement, and he speaks on behalf of them at the house. Okay, it makes sense. That reason why, but you can't have a body there called DDC, and then the representative making decision outside of that body. It's offering ideas outside of that body, so you just dress them to be like they are working, and in actuality they are not working. Look, we gotta stop and playing mockery out of leadership in this country.
Just recent time, District 2 have they have a district sitting where the district representative were able to present some of the the summary of his working since they took over as a new representative at the House. He was able to present with details of his working to DDC. I think that is, that is, you have already alluded to. So I want for the
alluded to what? To that?
That DDC is working.
No. Get it straight. Ask that representative what he reported. Did it come from that particular party? Or he did what he wanted to do and can report to them? You can do that. Generate the information from them. Get it out there and come and give them feedback. But you can't do something outside of their own opinion or input. Then you bring them report. What are you bringing that report for? To say that you're working? It should emanate from them.
You gotta explain to them what have been your representation at the level of legislature.
You say representation, it means that anything you are doing out there should have come from, from the people. Now, Article 17 says that all persons at all time in an orderly and peaceful manner shall have the right, not privilege, to assemble and consult, to discuss with their leaders, the common good of the country, and give the instruction according to Article 17. Are you saying that what the representative is giving back or reporting on was given to him by the community or by his constituents?
But what I'm saying is, for example, if there's a budget consultation, the budget has been presented to the House, and there's an ongoing consultation on the budget. You have to represent your constituency, your district. For example, your district have to have a fair share. If you want for development to come to your people, in that budget consultation, you have to make use representation. So upon making a representation, you have to come back to the constituent and report to them by telling that this is what I have been saying. I want this in my district. I want this in my district. For that, I've been representing people. So that report, the member of the constituency, how to get it. That's what I'm making reference
to. That is wrong. We are looking at the roles of representatives. Nothing is just done instantaneously. No. If information comes out to be discussed, that representative, you are a representative, for God in heaven's sake. You're representing a group of individuals. Why can you take that document back to the group of people that you're representing and let it give you a position? Why can you do that? We are discussing the role. Because the guys are poorly informed, poorly educated, and they don't have problem with circumventing the law, so they get out there and just do anything. I'm not the oracle or the writer of the law. If you go to Article 17, I'm just only amplifying what it says. Okay, you go to Article 17 and look at their responsibility. They have responsibility to consult with the guys who send them there. Come back. Look, let me tell you, until you start to educate your society on what to do, they will sit there and tolerate nonsense in things that they are doing the best thing. These guys should not be making decisions outside of their constituents. That's what I'm saying. Looking at their role. So if something comes out there, pop out there, consult with your DDC or however you call them, consult them, let them give you their own position on that subject matter. Then you go back and speak on behalf of them. This is what my constituents say. Do not take the action, then you bring the result to them. No, it's not how it works.
Okay, that if for me, I'm familiar with the working of some of the lawmakers because I've been following them and know they're working. If you check in some of the lawmaker office, the office is structured in a way that have a space there or office they're responsible for district matter. You call it district coordinators. The district coordinator in the representative office would like to work with DDC so that if any concern from the district, from the DDC, or from the district to the DDC, the coordinator will be able to get access to it and present to a boss. I think that's the structure. So the most of the lawmakers always try to work with
the that's an artificial bureaucracy being set by these representatives to not interact with the very people who please them in those offices they are seated.
And there's a day given to lawmakers to always meet the constituency. That is Friday. If you look at Monday they have a committee working. So committee member meeting. Tuesday they have a section. Wednesday they have a chairmanship of the committee. Thursday they have another section. Then Friday is intended for visiting the constituent district. You go and visit the district. Then you interact with people while the
Can you help me with the provision or the law that says that your representative should only interact with you on Friday In fact, they're not even interact with people on
So,
Friday
yeah,
as a standard. So just scrap that one out. Look, let me tell you, raising
it's not,
unnecessary bureaucracy in your offices in terms to circumvent what should be done will not get work done. Excuses don't get work done. Look, let me tell you, you are representing the guys there. When are the community meetings? When do you meet your DDC? When do you meet them? So there should be a first time that every lawmaker meets his constituent. Do you been there according to your information? Do they have a set time that we are always in meeting with our constituents?
the set time is Friday. That is a standing rule of the member of the legislature.
Today. It's on our
Probably
paper.
one of the lawmaker will say, because I'm engaged nationally, so what I'm going to do is I have my able representative who is the district coordinator. We're able
That
to
particular
meet
person was not saying there. That's the unnecessary bureaucracy.
yeah, but the lawmaker will say, "But I'm engaged for all
So
all
that
geared toward the betterment
uh,
of the district." So, since I'm not available at this point in time, my district coordinator will let to represent me. If any information there, then I will get to it.
So
So,
how many times will the lawmaker create excuses for not meeting his or her constituents? Look, let me tell you. Sorry for that. Let me tell you one thing. Lawmakers are not very powerful people that your constituents, the people of your district, cannot easily interact with. But today, our lawmakers are so powerful. They are so like a demon god. These guys, when they wanted your vote, you could easily have access to them. Today, to have access to lawmaker, could you imagine? Lawmaker can no longer walk in the community, interact with people, shake hands, drink coffee, and have what kind of group of individuals are there? When they want the vote, they become him, or after getting the vote, they become gods. That's what you are trying to portray. Social evil. Let me tell you, every lawmaker should have, should have that particular human relation. You should be able to put away your security, interact with the person. You know there will be some step for some security purposes. We understand, but you used to be in short trials to walk around the community. You used to go and sit at a Hatay's Charm and center and talk. You used to go on school campuses to go and interact with those students there. When you become representative, do not omit those practices and continue with those kind of things there. But these guys are terrible creatures, very, very terrible creatures. These guys are only concerned about passing bills so they can raise money to sustain themselves for the next 6 years or to have re-election, more than seeking the best interest of the community. Now, let me tell you one thing. How will you have these concessionaires or in the party of money companies and other things that exploiting this country? And the citizen and of those various mining sites and concession sites you're talking about, their lives cannot be transformed. Is that the approval of the communities in which the constituencies of the companies work? The communities agree that mine our place and take everything from here and let us be in poverty? It's not a reflection. It's not. Today, Saturday. Are you saying that the constituent will tell your officials of government should go around begging these guys for hand up for the weekend to pass the weekend? That is not the opinion of your constituent. The constituent have too much thing to talk about, but these guys get too much ears to hear. The what is important is how they can fatten their pockets and move on.
Because you're gonna find representative giving that, oh, if I make myself available to these people, they're gonna be like begging every time. Librarians are like coming every time.
Hey,
When you gonna be begging?
you got that you giving?
No.
Remain there in the same giving spree.
So it is important for a lawmaker to actually take a public opinion into a lawmaking. If yes, how can a lawmaker do that?
You have town hall meetings, you got your DDC, you have community visitation. And look, let me tell you, use a giving strategy to win the people to give you their vote. Why are you saying that strategy that you used yesterday to get you elected is the most terrible strategy to use ever after your election? So you omit them, you get rid of them. Then you want the people now to write tons of letters to you, run after you, one time to another time, and you disappoint people many times when they invite you to their occasion. You know what you will never do. Do not start practicing it. Why do you keep lying to the society? You know for where that giving people money for vote is wrong. You won't be able to continue after you have won the election. Why will you give money to people in order to get them to get you elected? You do a thing because you are terrible creatures. So at the end of the day, when they enter the house, they are trying to redeem the money that they use to get the guys over to them to win election. It is terrible for our society. Look, let me tell you, there are two things in psychology, social psychology, that every successful nation try not to practice. Two things. Do not put money in your education because you have poorly educated people coming out of high school and colleges, and do not put money into your politics because you have the wrong set of individuals graduating from becoming leaders of your country who do not have the desire to transform your country. So those two things, if you omit them from your society will stand better. But today in Liberia, school is for business. Students don't have to study that lesson nowadays. They are poorly educated, but they will graduate tomorrow. People don't go to colleges and other things, they register courses and just do what is crazy things, and they graduate for them. The society is aware about that, but the society is doing nothing about it.
Just before we go to the call line, I want to bring this question. So as our elected representative, in what way can you contribute to development in your own communities?
By getting, what in case the community want a palaver hall and you went there to do bathroom? It means you have contradiction. Get the opinion of these people. Democracy started from Athens in Greece. This thing they'll call today representatives. It came from a setting that people say that rather than calling a whole town together to make decisions and go to government and go in a crowd and a cycle to say one or two things, let's get individuals that will go and represent us. So that particular statement to go and represent us, that's how you came up with them. Those who represent you, you add your suffixes to it and you get what? Representatives. These are people, even from your institution. If you leave from here to go and represent your institution, become a representative of this institution. So those guys that are there, they came from that particular idea that we all can go out there to speak. So we elect a person or two to go and represent the general interest of everybody in a particular district. So the best way to get any project done in a given community is to go back to the community and ask them which project is more vital for now so that we can get it done. Do not go and impose, even those who develop projects. You can go and develop project and you want it properly to be sustained, come with sustainability plan. You don't want our project to be successful, but your project is outside of the people actual needs. So at the end of the day, when funding complete, the project dies because it's not what the people actually wanted. It's what you, as the guy who came with the cat, you wanted in the first place.
Just a few words. How can you describe our current lawmakers right now? Our current lawmaker in Liberia.
I would not want to call them lawmakers. I think we should take that word and say passive legislators.
What?
Passive legislators, because I tell you this, to have terrible creatures that will even go look at vandalizing cars and breaking laws, circumventing everything, and illegitimately, calling yourself majority group class budget being seated in a look, let me tell you, those are often the educated class and nationalists. We will never recognize that Rachel Kungai because we don't believe in such an evil of that kind. Okay, the entire process and his co-host. Let me tell you, mutiny is something that nobody should permit. You can permit mutiny.
Right.
That's rebellion. So everything you guys are doing over there is just a sign. Look at the motorbike guys. They added this gun too. Where do you think they may have learned it from? They're learning from those guys who are partial and legislators. They are not lawmakers, because lawmakers will not be just breaking things over. You want to call yourself speaker, which you are not. You'll see a Vigo. You don't have maturity. You say honorable person. If you see, you look at a car, you saw the car in a given position that you say the Constitution gave to you. You don't know that. You don't know the meaning of redress. That you'll call and start acting like say you are in the rebel days and bring it to the ground, put up so many vehicles and other things. Then it tells you, look, if this was a civilized society, if this was an educated society, the entire country would have come out and demand Those guys, they will remove him from ever being a speaker. He was not in speaker, he's not from ever being
Okay.
representative,
That's
because his action does not even represent someone who should be called an honorable person. Those guys are not honorable guys in our particular
Let
place.
me hold you there and
Only
see how
define individuals. No, you can't
let me
represent
hold you
us.
there and see how best we activate line and interact with the people actually out there listening to us. So so let's get a line activated. You can call on 0775 02 776 0775 02 776. Yeah, call and make an input. Maybe you have any question pertaining to the discussion, the rules and responsibility of representative. 0775 02 776. The line actually is blinking right now. All right. So to this person, let's say good afternoon to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is James Samuel. We're calling from tomorrow.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to say, your student girls, actually, these are people that can actually incite violence in the country, because you coming to tell us that representatives should go to their constituents to find out whether they should remove speaker. Once the constituents have told them to elect a speaker, that is their hot activities. That's how they do their job there. If the person is not representing them well, they decide to remove the person. Why expecting him to be saying?
So what? Yeah.
Can we move the country forward?
Okay, you're Konjo File, right? Thank you so much.
How can we move forward?
Thank you. How can we move a Konjo File? So another person. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Your name and from where you join us?
My name is Alex. I'm calling from Sophia.
Go ahead, Alison.
Yeah, I want to appreciate our father in studio. Thank you for the acknowledgement. You know, he shouldn't want to splash on a majority block, also put the minority block, and what especially you can qualify. Although it was wrong for representative to carry on that act, but representative you can qualify always only. You always insult. You insulting languages.
Yeah, you're right.
Man, you're not supposed to do that. So you're supposed to stretch when you get to the other guys in there, other guys in the argument on the majority part.
No, it was not actually based on argument specific person, but actually giving what need to be done in the house.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, so you're not focusing on a specific person. Thank you for calling another person. Yeah, good afternoon. You gotta stay off my mother, please. Yeah, go ahead. So what is your point right now? What is your point right now? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for calling. Another person. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, Chief.
Okay, I need a good friend, Kyle, was calling from Philadelphia.
Okay.
Okay, you see, when you guys especially you there, it is two ways. The Lord never made it very sexual to deal with the consequence, as we say. But then to look for the star, he claimed it as our DDC. Because when they want to deal with that with the representative, they should have back in the community, spread out the message. It is based upon the message spread by the community dwellers or the different people. We have to come over and lead meeting and they can lead the representative question in number.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So
okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Another person. Good afternoon. We got two more person. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, good afternoon. Go ahead, you live. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Because you get about it is this kind of security to go so destroy this long because he goes. Every people who will deal like this. It feels like I'm getting to remember because as a responsible
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Quickly. Oh my God. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
I don't know that person.
You gotta go far away from the monitor, please.
You gotta leave the monitor. Go ahead. Go ahead quickly.
Mm-hmm.
To do education, to do what somebody think communities and what have you.
Okay.
So in your own understanding,
Representative.
What you said?
They're called representative or they're
That
called
tattoo, that
lawmaker.
tattoo, the lawmaker represented. That tattoo. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so what on? Yeah.
Go ahead quickly.
So now I appreciate on the answer and the stuff for the public to be aware because there's so many things I would love to know about.
Okay.
So thank you for the answer.
Thank you so much. Because I didn't expect my last call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good afternoon. We actually okay. Go ahead.
You gotta put strength in your voice, please.
Okay, what our already first of all, my name is Mason.
Okay.
Yeah, speak from issue one or basically.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
What I was speaking on the issue there is quite correct. Because myself, I was living so clearly. The person or everything. People are in the house there by reading the mosque. About the mosque.
Okay.
He came to us. You know, he sat down with us. He discussed with us. At the end of the day, he gave us $100. I was one of the values. 150 from people that were there. But then when he has come to
He gave you $100 US.
Yeah.
You're divided.
Was divided.
Okay.
I divided 150, all the people that were there.
Okay.
And you know, selling. So when he has come to cancel down with us and discuss a year or two, on the side he won the
election.
But you say you did some one. I don't care.
So probably maybe the man gonna be saying that he pay up for your votes.
I was looking to show you the
So maybe according to the representative right now, he pay up for your votes. So
Yeah.
he coming back.
Oh, definitely getting your vote.
So what I want to say is why he said he got two faces. He has to talk with the people and when council representation, when council the hall there are issues in the hall between them, they can discuss it.
Okay. Okay.
So I want the one that going also I think it's embarrassing for people who went to represent or they make the condition and what I said. Where are we going?
Thank you. Thank you so
very
much for calling.
Thank you.
All right. So that's it. That you listen to the callers. You want to address maybe a few persons.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. I'm not an omen science to know and speak what in people's minds.
Okay.
I speak from an informed background. Never live with evil in the name of wanting peace. No, never. You see, if you want to have a change, progressive society, educate your people. Let them know If the society is properly schooled, some of the nonsense that are taking place in this country will never exist. Never. Okay? But because people are poorly informed, the brother who called the first time, he spoke of the ignorance. If you are properly informed, you will not be able, you don't just rush into making decisions or making statements. Okay? You will know that what you're about to say is in line with some form of published work. You know you have reference point. I'm not speaking my opinion. I'm speaking giving you what your law says. Okay, and what is accepted in the academic. So if you think that your opinion that is not recognized in the global society because you are not among the elite when it comes to academic, I know you think that I'll subscribe to that. No, it's not possible. Okay, so I mean, just get it straight with you. If you just get yourself reading, get yourself informed, you will know that what the guys are doing in this country, you can never try in any successful nation. What you, the citizen, you are permitting in your country. That's one of the things Donald Trump strike here. He said, you, the citizen, you are seated and allowing your leaders to use you and among wealth for themselves. And you are there defending what the guys do. Instead, they come and consult you in order that they carry your opinion out there, your desire out there. You sit and allow them to make decision, and then they decide whether or not to come and meet you and set up unnecessary bureaucracy that you cannot even see those people then that you call in as representatives and senators. That is completely social evil. It is wrong. So I would tell you for the way that anything that I did not say majority group. I said those representatives, those representatives. I can't call them honorable guys. Then they call them passive legislators because their actions undermine the true sense of democracy. The actions, and those who let me tell you, those guys will never ever be powerful if the executive branch is not supporting them. Never have we seen it in history. Before you talk, read. Okay, read and see what happens. Those individuals are powerless in the absence of the executive branch. Why would a speaker who is legitimate will say something will not be heard, but someone who is illegitimate will say something and the executive branch moves if the executive branch is not taking side? I'm not concerned about how you feel about this. This is my country. I'm a nationalist. So I tell you this because if we keep accepting this kind of social evil, you are derailing our progress. You are making the world to see us as bunch of irrelevant individuals that don't know how to find a way around things. These guys are doing what are terrible, so they must be told that, let me tell you, your Rachel Kuhn, your co-host, look at corruption. Look at corruption in Boakai. For me, I told you before, my position before this election, I told you all the things that would have happened. Which one of them that I said before the election took place now have taken place? Which one? I told you that Joseph Boakai was grossly incompetent. He has some physiological issues. You are seeing it all through the process. I said corruption will be part of this government. You are seeing it. I said he will try to hold hand up to power, that he will become an autocrat. Terrorism has not been practiced in this country. You don't see dictatorial action meeting in this country. Are you seeing the law being circumvented?
How can
look, you will definitely need a strong, national, radical, educated leader to transform this country.
I'm talking about when it comes to the lower house. How can we face the issues? They're talking about minority, black. How can we face the issues?
The Supreme Court said you should go back to some kind of ultra virus. Which tells you that every other thing these guys are doing is illegitimate. Ultra virus means that what the action you took is above your jurisdiction, your power, the authority you have. So the thing that those guys, they call themselves majority black, it was above their power. So it means that it is illegitimate. But because we don't have a strong democracy and the society is not educated, one of the reasons why I have serious problem with the Supreme Court is you can use legal ambiguity in a very sensitive, critical issue like this nature. They should have there been blunt come out and tell those guys in a simple term that the society can learn so that we can have this thing reoccurring. Let me tell you one thing. If someone says, well, we should be thinking about how we move forward, you think that we are just kids? You sit down and go and learn all your credentials, get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 master degree, your doctoral degree, and then you see something that is wrongly done, then you say you can't correct it, you then let it go and go, or it will come back because of precedence. You have more individuals doing the wrong thing, and you can't let go forward. No, let me tell you this: the step that is being taken by Kofa if that particular step will serve as a deterrence that tomorrow any other person wants to hijack power through that medium. I mean, it safeguard Joseph Boakai. Because if someone want to forcibly remove Joseph Boakai, the country will stand up and tell you, say, look, we will not sit there and people use jungle justice to remove leaders. It also protects him. So let me tell you, one even in one quarter is being permitted will go all over the place. That's the reason why you see when you go to the court, you see laws have been circumvented. You go to the police station, laws have been circumvented. People cannot get redressed because we are not setting precedent. We are not standing up for something. What is wrong is wrong. Rachel Kuhn is not speaker because he circumvented legality. And let me tell you, serenity will not take precedence over legality, and we sit here and allow it. Joseph Boakai can allow it, that is business. But we, as a nation, we say we reject it. If they want to remove COVID, that's a business. Go back and use the law. Set on the man, put down what you need to put down, raise the vote you need to vote, and move the man. We don't care about keeping whoever that there. We want to set a precedent that every time you remove a speaker, use the right medium. You want to remove a senator, someone from the bench, use the right medium. If you want to impeach the president, use the right medium. Anytime you want to do something in this country, use the right medium. Do not sacrifice things because you get money or you get some power. Do not do that.
We actually out of time right now, so we got to sign off. We're out of time, so we got to sign off. So just go ahead. In 1 minute, just do your conclusion, please.
Again, Dr. Abraham Dasamansu, the first, I'm a nationalist. My interest is the good of this nation. If we keep raising this flag, every one of us, I'm not for this party or that party, or want to have public sentiment. So I say what some individual wants to hear. No, that is not me. What is academic? As an academician, I speak it. What is nationalistic? I speak it. What is legal? I speak it. The budget that is being used by this government was passed by the wrong individual. So this government and the use of the budget are all illegitimate. The role of the representative is to go back. One of their roles is to go back to the constituent, get and speak the interest of your constituent. They voted you. Get their opinion on everything. Then you make good governance. It's good for democracy because it is of the people, by the people, for the people. It is not of the representative or official government for the official government. The people don't have ambulances, schools, and other things, but they can give themselves huge money, 45,000. Those things don't happen in civilized society, but it happens in Liberia. If we sit and keep accepting these things, then tomorrow people will say that, but where were you people? Were you people speaking about these things when they were happening? Yes, we are going on history that we are speaking. And those who think that our position is too strong, please go to read and put the country interest first. You can't put anybody before your country. That's why you see other countries are succeeding. We have traveled out of this country. We see how people engage their leaders. But yeah, we worship our leaders.
Thank you.
And Donald Trump, I just love that guy, how he says it. You, the citizen, you are the problem in your country. You are allowing your leaders to use you and benefit for they and their family. We need to stop it. We will not recognize Richard Kuhn and corruption in Boakai government and his government breaking laws all here and there will lead this country somewhere that we don't want. So, Mr. President, please try to work on your actions and stop supporting or laying one side. You can fool some people sometime, but you can fool all the people all the time. This particular flag at the place is heavily being supported by higher force than the majority group.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, God, for passing through. At least we have a conversation talking about the roles and responsibilities of our representatives.
And I hope to have another invite, so that I know we can talk much.
Yeah, we have a fruitful conversation. I know we want to appreciate that so much for giving Ali a bit of time to come and discuss our conversation.
Yeah, so we actually out of time, but we gotta take Eddie C. Yase, the secretary general for the Vanguard Student Unification Party from the University of Liberia. So he's gonna be talking to us. Let's say good afternoon to you, Eddie. Okay.
revolutionary march.
The co-chair.
Co-chair of the Bureau of
Oh,
Okay, so go ahead, Eddie. What's going on right now? Bring out all the speed.
Yeah, so receiving students who because they need body PhD on the system, and some students just got an admission letter and they do not have access to the e-portal. So they were angry while others are in class and they are not having access to training and courses to go to class. So they got angry and they disrupted classes on the University of Rock campus yesterday on Fenial campus. So the whole Fenial campus were upside down. And again, one of the issues that are still getting Congress to be struggling in the University campus is a bus.
the issue of
Ago,
buses.
we saw buses on the University campus, two buses, and there were 2 days now the buses cannot go in the University campus because the owners of those buses have been complaining that the University wants to have buses on the campus, like 10 to 15 buses in the rented, and the University should pay $100 for each bus a day with 20 gallons of fuel. So if that cannot be done, they will have 10 buses on campus. So those are issues affecting students at the University of for which the students are struggling. And another issue has to do with the chair. There are limited chairs on University of campus. So the students have to be putting chairs from one place to another. If you go in the morning, you get one chair, you keep it with you as a
Are we talking about the Stellar University? It's over limited chairs.
So, what message do you have?
This semester, number of concentration of students on, especially on the Fenial campus.
Okay.
So, the limitation of chairs on the Fenial campus is an embarrassment to the university, and the students are angry, the students are protesting.
Okay. As a co-chair of Bureau of Propaganda, what message do you have for the public or the university authority in regarding this issue that you just raised?
Yeah, yesterday the party went to an emergency meeting and the leadership of the party agreed that the university declared money as a rally for the university to bring back the annual party on the platform for students to add their courses and also bring buses for the students and provide more chairs for the students. So Monday there will be unspecified revolutionary action on campus because the students are tired. Being ignored by the government, being ignored by the administration in the University of Liberia. And we speak the president is not in country, that of my is not in country. She's here in America, we don't know what engagement she's going for. But the students at the University of Liberia are angry with so many issues. People cannot be paying their money at the University of Liberia, paying ticket fees, $250. So we calculate 250,000, almost 22,000 students, we're discussing pretty close to 3 million. So why can't you bring chairs at least? Bring chairs are no longer in one university, but bring new one, bring the armchairs we used to our traditional chair.
So that unspecified action that will be taken by you guys on Monday, can it be something that people should be afraid of not attending their classes on Monday or stay away? Because you are saying a thing that
specified revolutionary action. We want the government to know that there are issues on the University of Liberia campus. It should not be ignored. Those issues should not be ignored and should be addressed and addressed immediately with immediate effect. If those issues cannot be addressed on that Monday, the party on the Facebook page of students and Americans, we already posted it declaring Monday as a peaceful rally. So whether federal campus or mini campus, students agitating that there will be buses, there will be chairs, and
Eddie,
there must come back the
you think the app body should still be on at this time where we students are actually talking about meeting at the University of Liberia? Up to now,
courses and
Are you sure? Are you sure about that? Talking about people still receiving admission letter.
I'm sure that people receiving admission letter. Oh yes, people are receiving admission letter.
Jela,
And the system again was malfunctioning. The students, they have access to the system. If I want to put the whole system, they tell why. It need to take 2-3 weeks before the system is out of work. So students, when finding it difficult to play our courses and just pay their fees. So all these things.
just last semester we saw like 4 to 5 buses going on the Fena campus. Then where are those buses right now?
Is that last semester?
Last semester we saw 4 to 5 buses. I mean, are going to Fena campus. Where are those buses?
They also engage with those courses and they said, also like we're supporting them, use them more money. And when you start Joseph telling all the same thing that Universal like does not pay the way of that they pay. So we took the buses and get to Arsenal Meta and other places. And last semester you discussed was around the election era. So Joseph was playing politics. He brought buses for political issues and the students when one election he took the bus for the campus. It was not a permanent bus for Universal as well. It is so disheartening by this time that the state-owned universities they talking about renting buses out. The
So
state-owned universities by this time all investing mission government that for education in their research and that.
So, Mr. Jansen,
They should be in fact state-owned universities should be
Mr. Jansen,
emphasis should be placed on the life of students at the university as well. One of those rescue measures it is something different, it's contradicting. You go to the university like campus, you have to go to the office, you have to go to the beaches to ease yourself. On you campus, you have to pay something like 20-30 in the bathroom for tissues and water. That is the balancing. What is the maintenance department doing in the university? Pay the government paying them. But still, they take money from students to maintain the bathroom. That is something that's happening. It is indecent in the hospital like rock campus. So
okay.
all of these issues, if the student raise those issues, then people come and say, oh, the student that is gone home, we have found them. What is more violent than keeping students in school without care? What is more violent than keeping students in school without buses, without transportation for them? In the rescue mission government, what is more disgusting about that? That no bathroom, the classroom are here, they are dark.
Oh, all right. So, from my end, Mr. Jansen, from my end, Monday, you earlier stated that the student leadership going to have on specific action. Now, you are trying to take a reverse that there will be a peaceful march. So, which one can we rely on? Can we stick to peaceful march?
Is the police are always push up in the boss to start the so we go there peacefully with our flag or our flyer and all stuff, calling the ministry, calling the government attention media that we speak.
Okay. Okay, peaceful march. They're going to be a peaceful march. Okay.
They play will become chaotic. So the students are usually peaceful. We now have to say we start shooting. No, we are very peaceful. We are harmless. So we go campus and see when the media will come and will speak to the president, let the world know this is how embarrassing is the University of Labour campus. In the situation that our students are involved with on the University of Labour campus, and we see police will come and they will disrupt the whole process. And then the place will become chaotic by the police force.
all right.
Can you come up here and talk about the police? They are all chaotic. Everything has been chaotic on our administration. So we know that we're expecting that tomorrow.
Mr. Jansen, so finally, what you have to say to students actually who going to be going on campus tomorrow morning, on Monday morning, and to the administrations, I mean the faculties, that will leave you.
To the students, in fact, the students will go on campus school tomorrow. Will stay wherever school will do. The students are going to class will sit on the ground, the students are competition into the university authority. The final party is starting. The students are starting the university. they are also running for GS, buses, and decent university campus. So on Monday, the students will only want to go to class on Monday. We put out almost 25,000 students on Monday. And everybody will be on campus, Trinity campus. The two campuses will be charged intellectually and calling on the government to play premier emphasis on the University of Liberia campus.
All right, so thank you so much for talking to us, Edison Yancey.
So thank you. Once again, CES, the co-chair of the Bureau of Program Research and Guardians of the Revolutionary Vanguard Unification Party.
Thank you so much.
Always, and we hope to see you tomorrow.
Okay, so we're gonna be there with our cameras to make sure we capture everything.
Okay, thank you.
That's it. Check. You listen to the co-chair of the Bureau of Propaganda. So at no time we gotta go.
Yeah,
We gotta go.
we have to go. We have to go there.
Okay. Yeah. So just sign off.
Yeah. So that does it for the program Youth and Society. By God's will, we're going to be back on next week Saturday. Earlier on, we had a fruitful conversation with Dr. Reverend Gassama Sedu. He is executive director of DEEF. So we're discussing about the role or the functions of the lawmaker. So we had a fruitful discussion, and just a few minutes ago, we're in line with the co-chair of Propaganda, Bureau of Propaganda of Student Unification Party.
Vanguard students.
Yeah, Vanguard Student Unification Party. So that does it. My name is Sheikh Sano.
Elijah Jose. Okay, so I will actually be in conversation with the CEO of Deep National. I'm telling you. So that's it. I want to listen to our game next Saturday from 2 up to 3. All right, so we're out.
I hope